The wedding coordinator froze as she looked at the final match on her tablet. A struggling single father wearing a worn-out jacket had just been paired with one of the richest women in the city. The guests whispered, cameras turned toward them, and everyone expected the billionaire to reject him with a polite smile. But before anyone could react, she walked straight toward him, gently held his face, and kissed him on the forehead. The entire hall fell silent because that kiss wasn't about romance. It was about recognizing a heart that the world had ignored for far too long. If you believe kindness still has the power to change lives, and that everyone deserves a second chance, take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Kindness Space for more emotional stories that remind us humanity is still alive. Daniel had never imagined that his life would become a daily battle for survival. 3 years earlier, he had lost his wife during childbirth, leaving him to raise their little daughter, Lily, alone. Every morning began before sunrise. He worked construction during the day, delivered groceries in the evening, and spent every spare minute caring for Lily. Money disappeared as quickly as it arrived. Bills piled up on the kitchen table. The refrigerator was often nearly empty, and sleep became a luxury he could rarely afford. Yet despite the endless exhaustion, Daniel never complained. Every night he tucked Lily into bed with a smile, pretending everything would be okay because children deserve hope even when adults are running out of it. Across the city lived Victoria, a billionaire entrepreneur whose success filled magazine covers and television interviews. She owned companies, luxury homes, and private jets, but none of those things could fill the emptiness she carried. Years of betrayal had convinced her that people loved her fortune more than they loved her. Every relationship ended with disappointment. The more successful she became, the lonelier she felt. She quietly donated millions to charities without seeking recognition because helping strangers was easier than trusting someone enough to love them. One afternoon, both Daniel and Victoria unknowingly accepted invitations to a unique charity event designed to encourage meaningful human connections instead of superficial first impressions. Participants agreed to be matched based entirely on character assessments, life experiences, and values rather than appearance, wealth, or social status. Daniel almost declined because he had no nice clothes to wear, but Lily begged him to go, telling him that maybe happiness was finally looking for him. Victoria accepted because she had grown tired of expensive parties where every conversation felt fake. When their names appeared together, the room filled with disbelief. Some people laughed quietly, convinced the organizers had made a terrible mistake. Daniel lowered his eyes, embarrassed that everyone seemed to think he wasn't good enough to stand beside someone like Victoria. Years of hardship had taught him to expect rejection before kindness, but Victoria saw something entirely different. She noticed the tired eyes of a father who had sacrificed everything for his child, the gentle way he smiled despite carrying invisible pain, and the quiet dignity that wealth could never buy. Without hesitation, she stepped forward and kissed his forehead, not to impress anyone but to honor the strength she saw in him. In that single moment, every judgment in the room suddenly felt small. The following week surprised them both. Instead of glamorous dinners at expensive restaurants, Victoria asked Daniel if she could join him during ordinary moments. She watched him help Lily with homework after long workdays. She saw him repair broken toys instead of buying new ones because every dollar mattered. She noticed how he skipped meals whenever food was limited so Lily would never feel hungry. Those small acts of love affected her more deeply than any grand romantic gesture she had ever experienced.